Atiba, first you got to tell us, we know you were walking with James Duthie today, and somebody yelled something out. It got your attention. Do you know what that was, what that person yelled out?
Oh, I know. It was loud, very loud. They said, Hayes is a fraud. Couldn't believe it.
There's no way that made its way
Dude,
down
I
to
swear
Atlanta.
to God. Atiba, you have to admit that happened happened today.
I promise you it happened. I promise.
That's disappointing, man. That's disappointing. Even down in Atlanta. Well, listen, I guess that means the show is going international, so we're cool with that. It's now, we take that as what, an honor, right? Oh, that's something that we wear as a badge of honor. Hayes is a fraud, making its way down to Copa America.
Duthie sent me a message and said, Atiba was really confused on why the guy was yelling that, so you might want to bring it up.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you did. Okay. Was it a Canada fan at a minimum, or was it an Argentina fan? Can you give us an explanation on that?
Well, I think it was a Canadian fan, so you should be all right.
Okay, I'm cool. It sounds so loud down there. What are they prepping for? Like, is obviously the match is kicking off tonight, but is there some sort of concert that's supposed to happen in the next half an hour? What's going on down there?
It definitely sounds like it. It's a party before the game even starts. It's very loud in here, so I can only imagine how it is when the fans are in here and they get going.
It's going to be a fun one tonight, and obviously Argentina is supposed to be well represented. You mentioned you saw at least one Canadian yell out Hayes is a fraud. What kind of Canadian, fan base would you expect in the building tonight? How many Canadians and how much Canadian support do you expect for the game tonight?
I'm hoping there's a good amount of Canadians in here. Probably around 4,000 or 5,000. That would be great to see, all in one section. So hoping to see lots of Canadians in here, but they'll definitely be full of the Argentinian fans everywhere here. So our Canadian fans got to make a lot of noise and be ready for it.
No kid.
Atiba, can you just put it into perspective a little bit? Like Canada as a nation playing soccer, how significant this is that they are going to play Argentina and the defending World Cup champions.
It's such a big step for the Canadian team, for the national team, for the country. It's a second big competition that we're playing in a matter of 2-3 years. So this is huge for Canada. I'm sure all those boys are really excited about this moment. There'll be a lot of nerves involved, but more of the excitement and them just not, excited to just get on the pitch and just put that jersey on and represent the country.
Well, when you're playing a team like Argentina, which obviously has an incredible soccer history, but they also have a guy that is, I wouldn't say he's larger than the game, but he might be on pace with it in Messi. He's real close in terms of what he represents. And how would you suggest, the Canadian side go up against that in terms of Messi in particular and treating him like an equal on the pitch? Like, how difficult can that be when you're talking about a guy that is larger than life in many ways?
It's about full concentration. From the first minute of the game, they've got to be really locked in. They got to make sure that Messi doesn't have the time and space that he would like to have, because it takes one moment for Messi to just have that bit of magic and create something special. So I know the boys will be ready for it, but it's going to be concentration from the very beginning and make sure they're very aggressive on him and not giving him the space in between the lines that he would hope for.
Atiba, you're obviously very familiar with a lot of the players in that dressing room and, such a leader for this program for such a long time. Like, what do you think the conversations are like with some of the younger players as far as what they're going up against and how this night could shake out?
I think a lot of it is about them just going out there and just representing the country and sticking together, playing as a team. They've been working very hard over the last, 1 week of training. They've had two decent games against the Dutch and the French. Maybe not the result that they were looking for in the first game against Holland, but they played very well against France. So a lot of what we've seen them do against France in that game and continued into this game. This is more of a competition, obviously. It's a tournament, so there's a lot more pressure involved, but there's a lot of good players around, and they've been doing a lot of good things as of late, so they're going to just continue that and go out there and just have fun, express themselves, and enjoy the game. It's a big occasion, but it's going to be a great game for them.
With Atiba Hutchinson live from Atlanta ahead of Copa America tonight, Canada, Argentina on TSN. Also, you got a new coach there in Jesse Marsch, who obviously implemented some some decent tactics against the French. You know, he's pretty well publicized in terms of his history and what he's done in the past. How would you expect his approach to play out in this tournament? Obviously leading towards 2026 in the World Cup. They know they're going. We know we're going to host. How quickly can a coach of that status make an impact on the way the team plays and maybe getting some results? How quickly do you expect that to happen?
Yeah, it's going to take time. That's obvious. But you've seen in the last 2 games that the team has kind of improved from the second to the first game. He stresses a lot of the team being very organized and disciplined. And obviously, you know, with the high press is what he really likes. They're obviously going to have to pick the times when they go and put the high pressure on, because obviously they're playing against a quality team that could break them apart. So it's finding that balance. But the boys have shown that they're invested in what they want to do. Collectively, it's going to be important that they stay together and show that fight, that spirit, and a very balanced approach in this game. And then they're going to have the weapons where they can hurt them in the attack, you know, and the counter, the transition is going to be key for them in this game.
So, Atiba, you know what it means to be a leader, to be a captain of this club. Alphonso Davies, I would argue, is now the face of the national program, and he's a young guy, though, still. He's working his way into all this. He's a great young player, but they're bestowing that honor upon him. Like, lead these guys, whether it's at the Copa America, into the World Cup. What kind of advice would you have for Alphonso in terms of him taking on that position, that leadership role?
You can see that he's ready for the role. He's been very vocal about it. He wants to wear that armband, and he wants to be the leader on the pitch. And obviously, he's got the experience of playing at high levels and winning trophies in different competitions. So he's definitely ready for that role. My advice would be just, go out there and be yourself, be a leader, obviously, speak as much as you can. He's going to grow into that role as well, and I'm sure he'll do very well at it for many years to come. And it's going to be exciting to just, see him out there on the pitch with the armband and taking that real control and bringing the team behind him.
Beyond the pitch, like, we all know kind of what's involved as far as being a leader in the sport you're playing in, on the field or on the ice, but beyond the pitch, like, what does that entail for him as far as the significance of the national program and him having to be the one to kind of lead the way?
Yeah, you're representing the whole country. You're the captain of this team, so it's not just on the pitch what you do, it's also off the pitch and how you carry yourself. And he's been very good at that. He's been a real ambassador for Canada, and he always takes that opportunity to take the call and be here and represent Canada every chance he gets. So he's proven that he's all in for this country, and he just has to continue doing what he's doing. And obviously now, him being the captain, it's a bigger role now, but yeah, he's ready for that. And he'll have to do things like bringing the team together, maybe doing some things outside of the pitch, and just finding ways to make the team, form that relationship and continue to get, closer and closer and be a tight-knit team and family.